We are on the right one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not
Yeah.
seeing anybody yet. So we'll
It's a
wait.
shame.
We'll
It's a
wait
shame.
for a couple minutes and see. But I wanted us to be out there
Right. Right.
right
Yeah.
at 5 o'clock. I
I
want
sent it
people.
to my list, and then I sent them a reminder this morning.
Yeah.
And so I don't know where my list is. My list hasn't been very responsive, which isn't good. I need to
Oh, okay.
build
That
a.
one person that was there when you said that, they left. Okay.
There wasn't anybody
I
there,
think they
was
were
there?
offended, maybe. Oh. We are
There's.
live, so
Oh, hey, Chuck. I see Chuck and Ray are here.
excellent.
Hi, Chuck and Ray. Good to see you.
Oh, I guess I could do that too. I could see the attendees. Cool. Excellent. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. Because I do like to start pretty much on time. I'm not like some people that are out there. They like to run 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late. So anybody who's coming on later, they can catch up later. This is the Training and Marketing Tools webinar, and we will be doing this every Thursday night at 5 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and whatever time it is around the world where you may be at right now. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are coming from. So what this Training and Marketing Tools are is we want to start giving back to the community that has been really so good to us, and we want to give you the opportunity to learn different methodologies, give you tools and training to help make you successful. You have, if anybody's been out there for a while, they know this is a tough business, and you need all the help you can get. And I just want to start trying to give back and help people. So this is a live forum, and you can ask questions. If you have any questions, any topics you'd like us to cover, just type them in the chat, and we will. I'll find an expert, or I'll cover it myself, and we will. We'll cover the things that you want to learn. So my name's Roy Harris. I've been in marketing a long time. Anybody knows who W. Clement Stone is? I worked for him, and he's been dead for like 40 years. So I'm giving away my age. But he's one of the he was one of the top people, top salespeople, top trainers in of the last century. He was an amazing person, and I learned so much from him. And then of course I had a chance to work with Donald Trump, and I've worked with a lot of great people out there. And so I want to share, and I've done pretty well for myself, actually. I've done pretty well in the marketing industry, the sales industry. I've had brick and mortar stores, so it's just time to give back and help you become successful. And so I want to turn a few minutes over to John, our special guest tonight. He's the LinkedIn magician. And he's going to, no, he's not going to pull a rabbit out of his hat. He's going to pull prospects out of your LinkedIn account and show you how to do that. So, but let me just introduce him for a few minutes. Go ahead, John.
Okay, hey Roy, hey Chuck and Ray, and anybody else that's out there with us. My name is John Smiley, and I have known Roy for a few years now. We both live in the Pacific Northwest. Earlier, before the call, I was talking to Roy. I bought my first computer in 1993, and so I almost immediately started realizing the potential to use it as a tool to make money and selling information or selling software. And for a number of years, I made a part-time income doing that. And it was really exciting to me the first time that I got a ding-ding from PayPal that someone had sent me money from Portugal, I think, was the first $20 bill that I made was from Portugal, of all places. And I was excited, and I thought, well, this really works. And I worked on it, and sometimes I was headlong into it, and then there were other times when I pulled back completely. But I do believe in giving back. I think that it's important that we have a service mind and a service mentality, and that's one of the reasons why I like LinkedIn so much. And over the past year, I've been doing a lot more to educate myself on how to use LinkedIn and helping other people to use LinkedIn as well. And when Roy told me he was starting his weekly tools seminar and marketing help seminar, I told him that I really appreciate getting the opportunity to join it and to tell people what I know about LinkedIn, among other things. I like to answer questions, so if you have any questions, please answer them. Please ask them, and I'll be happy to answer them. So, Roy, do you need to do any more housekeeping before we start?
Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit more about what we're going to be covering over the next several weeks, because this is going to be weekly. So if we want you to, get used to showing up here this time every Thursday evening, or whatever time of the day it is, wherever you're at, and I hope we're able to help you somehow. So, I mean, that is our goal. We're not here to. I can honestly tell you that I don't need your money. Okay, I live quite well. I'm doing quite well. I don't need your money. I'm here really seriously to help you and to get a leg up, because there are so many. I hate to say this, but there are so many scammers out there that will take your money. This binary options thing is really bugging me, because it looks so good, and they've got a real good sales presentation. They lie through their teeth, and it's all free, except you got to fund it with $250 to $500 to $1,000, and you might even make money in the beginning, but you won't end up with any money in your pocket. So just a little bit of warning there. At least I haven't seen anybody that's made any long-term money on that. So so training and marketing tools. Let's get back to that. We're here to help, and so I want to tell you the secret. I mean, this is the secret. Write this down. This is how you're going to become successful. Well, let me first tell you how you're not going to become successful. If you jump around to different things, different businesses, different products, different opportunities, the next shiny object that catches your eye, I can guarantee you will never make any money, because you will always see a shinier object out there. The other thing is quit trying to sell to people. People don't like being sold to, but people love to buy. Just understand that. People do not like being sold to. So I don't care what your sponsor told you. I don't care what your uplines told you, your affiliate people. I don't care what they told you. People don't like to be sold. So don't send them a link to just buy your stuff. It's not going to, any short-term money you make will always be short-term. You'll never make any long-term money that way. You have to, well, there's several steps here, and I'm going to cover them. So write this down. This is extremely important, and I'm very serious about this. Okay, first of all, the first thing you have to have is a desire. You have to have an extremely strong desire, or you won't stick around doing what you're doing. And your desire is not to make money. As strange as that seems, your outcome may be to make money, but your desire cannot be to make money. Your desire is you want to provide a better home for your family, a better living for your family, a better education for your family, a better education for, you know, a grandson, granddaughter, niece, nephew, whatever. But those are the desires. Those are the things that will drive you, because whenever you get slapped in the face, and you will, you know, if your desire is money, you'll be gone in very quickly. So you won't last in this industry. It's a tough industry. But I want you to think about the fact that I have a master's degree, but it took me, let's see how long. It took me from 1971 to 1988 to get a bachelor's degree, okay? And then it took me from 1989 to 1995 to get a master's degree. So how many of you would stick around? And I went to school constantly that whole time. There was maybe, I had one semester I had to drop out because my son was born with a cleft lip, cleft palate. And I had to miss out. And then there was a semester between when I got my bachelor's and started my master's program. So it's pretty much, I mean, from 71 to 95, I went to school. But I wasn't set on what I wanted to be in the beginning, like a lot of people. And so I, you know, dilly-dallied around. And it's the same thing if you're in a marketing business. You have to focus on one product. It doesn't matter, you know, this company is better than that company, better than that company. If it's something you can, stand behind and say, this is a great product, this is a great company, whatever. But if it's something you can stand behind it and just go with it. You can make money at anything. You can make money selling soap, silver coins, Empower Network, but you have to stick with it. So don't be bouncing around from thing to thing. So okay, so you got to pick the product, service, or opportunity that you're going to be promoting. So you've got your desire first. You got that down. Product, service, or opportunity. Stick with your company or your product. Don't be jumping around. Okay, then I want you to learn something. Okay, and that's why you're here. Hopefully, you want to learn something. Always be reading. Always be mentally building yourself, because every hour you spend building yourself is worth 10 hours building your business. Because you've got to be mentally there. So once you've learned something, then I want you to do it. Okay. So we're going to teach you some tricks tonight. I want you to go out and do them immediately, and then get good at it, and then you start teaching other people. Then you can sell, okay? Because then people will come to you and say, hey, so you're using these tools, but you know, I'd really like to know what it is you're marketing. And so some of the most successful people never even talk about what their product or service or opportunity is. And so remember LDTS, okay? Learn, do, teach, then sell. Don't be selling up front, okay? And then try to get the best equipment you can. You notice I've got a very, you know, good microphone here. I've got a very good laptop. If you were on last week, you'd think I didn't have a good camera, but it just went out before the webinar. I swear. It's a very expensive setup, but this is a more expensive one. So get what you can afford, though, but get good stuff. And because people still want to follow somebody that's successful, or at least looks successful. It's back when I was back in the sales day. You didn't drive up in a jalopy to a prospect's house. You always, if you had to go borrow a car, you have to look successful because people want to buy from somebody successful. So look like you, don't look like a bum. Now, so once you've learned, do, sell, teach, learn, do, teach, sell, let everybody know every success that you have. And even if it's your first $10, it's like, hey, I made $10. That's better than 70% of the people out there marketing is, $10. And because most people haven't made anything. We're not going to get into, how much money I've made because, I don't think it's pertinent right now. But I'm happy to share that with anyone. But I'm doing fine. Like I said, I don't need your money. I'm here to help. Just let me know what you need. And so I'm going to turn this over to John and let him teach you from the LinkedIn magician. He's going to teach you all his secrets.
All right. Thanks, Roy. I appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I've got a PowerPoint presentation, and it hopefully won't be death by PowerPoint. I'm excited about this. I use LinkedIn for my primary business, which is for helping local businesses with pay-per-click, and that's one of the reasons why I took a hard look and educated myself on LinkedIn. Was when I was starting local PPC solutions, I set up a Facebook page, but I realized that most of my clients they may have a Facebook page, but they're really just using it to share pictures of their grandkids or their latest vacation or their new car or railing, for or against some local political issue. Twitter is good, but it's just 140 characters, and it's a great medium. But I realized that LinkedIn is a professional networking organization, and I looked at my LinkedIn account, which I had set up probably 5 years ago, 4 years ago, whenever it first started, and I realized I hadn't made any changes to it, and it had changed dramatically, and I needed to educate myself and learn about it and to find out what all of the good news that I was hearing about LinkedIn. And with that, I'm going to show you the PowerPoint presentation, and I'm also going to share with you my LinkedIn account, screenshots. So bear with me as I go through maybe some technical challenges. Although I've been online or using a computer for better than 20 years, sometimes I have issues. But right now I'm going to share my screen, and let's see if we can make this happen. All right. So you all should be seeing how to leverage the power of LinkedIn to get fast results. Yes, and that's a picture of me, John Smiley. I mentioned Facebook a few minutes ago. LinkedIn, I think, is more user-friendly than Facebook. It's not proliferated with ads, and the feed doesn't change in such the same way in the way that Facebook feed does. It's adapted for current-day communication preferences. You can set up whether you want to get notifications for when people in your network make changes to their profile, somebody posts something.
We're still just seeing your first page.
Are you seeing LinkedIn versus Facebook?
No.
Huh.
And it's not full screen.
It's not.
Not what I see.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Screen share.
We see your screen.
You see my screen. Now, are you seeing a full page, like just the front page of the presentation, or no?
I see a blank nothing right now.
Well, Roy, we may need to do our backup
plan, huh?
Can you see that?
No, I don't see anything. How about our viewers? Maybe I'm not getting a good... Did they see it?
I don't know.
Type something in and let us know you're there. Say hello. Don't be shy. Okay, then I can...
Oh. Can you see that, Roy?
Oh, I just closed my window so I could go get the other one. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you can see the screen now.
No, I see you.
You see me.
You want me to go get my copy?
Yeah, I
Did you see me?
imagine we're going to need to do that. That's strange.
Okay, I just want to bring it up first, and then I'll go. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if this works better. It's not the one I want. Oh well. Okay, I'll bring it up later. Okay, let's go to screen share. And we'll do that one. We'll see what happens. Okay. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Let's go to the next page.
All right, so LinkedIn is versus Facebook. LinkedIn, like I said, it's more user-friendly. It really fits in with what professionals are trying to do, and it just lets you present yourself in a dynamic way. There are things you can do on your profile. You can add PowerPoint presentations. You can add video. You can add the things that will enhance what you're doing. And with Facebook, the rules are constantly changing. Yes, you can do that. No, you can't do that. And Facebook is always about figuring out how they can make money off of selling ads. And LinkedIn is just more. In LinkedIn, the people are there because they want to make. The people who are on LinkedIn are looking to increase their business, first of all, make connections, or they're looking to buy something. Now, if you're on this call and you are an internet marketer, LinkedIn's a great place. It should be obvious. If you own a business, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a plumber, if you have some type, there's a place, there's a reason for you to be on LinkedIn. Even if you're a network marketer, there is a reason to be on LinkedIn. And the most important thing to do is, Roy, if you go to the next, so the most important thing to do is to revisit your LinkedIn profile. And that's really the first step. You need to look at your profile and determine, is it current? Meaning, do you have a current picture for your profile picture? Have you tweaked it for maximum effectiveness at getting new clients? I believe that your LinkedIn profile, especially your summary, is really a mini sales page. You're selling yourself. You're putting your best foot forward. You want to tell people what it is that you do, why you do it, what you can do for them. Now, uh, that doesn't mean that you put up there a real, salesy type headline like, save money now, only 19.95, or anything like that. It's a professional resume, if you will. It's your online resume. In fact, if you're a job seeker, it's definitely helpful for job seeking, and a lot of people do that. And when you're a job seeker, your LinkedIn profile really does resemble more of a resume. But when you're working or when you're using it to build a business, whether that's a part-time business or a full-time business, you want to set it up so that you're selling yourself. When you go on, you're going to go through this, find out if you skipped any of the steps. And LinkedIn's really good at letting you know when the profile is complete. They have a little bar on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, that will, as you complete, it will say 20% complete, 40% complete, 60%. And when you get to over 90% complete, you're an all-star, and that unlocks a little, makes it a little easier to use, and they appreciate, and it's definitely appreciated by them, and it's telling you you're on the right track. So let's go to the next slide. So some tips. There's some security settings, and a lot of times with security, we're on Facebook. I'm very reticent to share everything that I put on Facebook with the public. I have private groups that are friends that we just share within that. On LinkedIn, though, you want to make your profile visible to everyone, because you're not sharing personal things. You're sharing professional things. You're sharing business-related information. And when you're posting and when you're setting up LinkedIn, you want to think about how this looks professionally. I'm not saying, the days of wearing coats and ties are pretty much over with. I can't remember the last time I wore a tie, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be professional. And that's why good pictures are important. Your headshot should be a picture of your head, not of your entire body, not from far away. People want to see a smile on your face. A tip for taking a good profile headshot is to have someone take it for you. Don't do a selfie. Maybe if you have a selfie stick. But think about the last thing that made you smile and laugh. Think about that. Bring a smile to your face, and then have the picture taken. And just try to be natural. I've seen ones outdoors which can be good with natural light, but remember, you're going to make your profile visible to everyone, so you want to have a good picture. Just like you can also create a unique URL. It's called a vanity URL. I just went with my name, John Smiley, because it was available. But let's say that you're trying to brand yourself as the chiropractor in Bellingham, and you have a name that's hard to spell or difficult to pronounce, or you just would rather use a city and your profession. That can work too if it's available, and because that's searchable in the search engines and within LinkedIn, so that's a key word. If you have a website, and most people do these days that are online making money, you can add a profile badge to put on your website. I do that. I help people with building websites, and I always recommend that when they set up their web page, that they have their LinkedIn profile linked on their website, and there's a nice little badge, and it says LinkedIn, and it really, really looks good. I mentioned earlier, you have a professional profile headshot, and by professional, it doesn't mean you have to go and pay somebody $200 or $300 to take a series of pictures. If that's in your budget, that's great, and it's always better to use a professional when possible. However, it just means have it look professional. You don't want to have flexing your abs or with your shirt off, or or a picture. Worse is like or you've seen pictures where people are taking a selfie in a mirror, and not only are they in the picture, but so is the camera. That's not professional. So these are just a few tips on what I would recommend, And if we go to the next slide, Roy. So when you're thinking about LinkedIn, you want to think about, why are you here? Who is it that you're trying to attract? I'm on LinkedIn I have a pay-per-click consulting business. I work with small businesses. I like to work with hotels. That's my target market. That's who I'm trying to attract. So the things that I post in my that I put in my summary are things related to my specialty. You get you get rich in a niche, is what they say. So for me, it's about trying to appeal to hotels, restaurants, hospitality type services. What do you want them to notice about you? For me, I want them to notice that I am an expert in pay-per-click, that the things that I do, I do a weekly webinar on pay-per-click advertising. You need to have a call to action. Call to action is, what do I want them to do? One of the things I want them to do is I want them to sign up for my webinar. So unfortunately, I can't hyperlink, but on my profile I have a link, the URL that they can go to sign up, and I encourage them to sign up. And you can do some limited bolding and use of symbols to help things stand out. What do you want your profiles to do for you? What do they need to know about you? These are the questions that, when you're crafting your summary and your job descriptions and the different sections, that you need to be answering. And if you can't answer it, then maybe you need to think about repositioning yourself. And so it's like, who do you want? It's like, who do you want them to see? It's like my mother used to say, don't do anything that you wouldn't want your grandmother to read about you in the paper tomorrow. So that's what you're thinking when I think about LinkedIn. I'm thinking, what do I want to show of myself? How do I want to appear? Next one. So step 2 is connecting to the right people. There is literal gold in LinkedIn. And I have made connections with people on LinkedIn that I never would have been able to reach by trying to phone call them or even send them email. But through LinkedIn, I've been able to, because generally you can see your first level connections, and then if you can see your second level connection, you can contact them and ask to be connected. And so that's why you treat your connections as gold, because they connect you to other people. I have a little over 1,000 people in my first level connection, which basically through 3 levels I'm connected to about 13 million people, which is pretty powerful when you think about it. When I first joined, I was adding people who had no relevance to my business. Anybody that I thought would make sense. I just was connecting with anybody, because it was like, oh, got it. The more people, the better. The more people, the better. Now I only connect to people that are in a related field to the hospitality industry. That's my focus. And so, because my main goal is to open up and sell to more hotels each and every month. And if I'm connecting to Joe the plumber, well, he may be a perfectly nice guy and it's a perfectly noble profession. He's probably not going to help me with getting a hotel connection, unless he happens to be owner of a hotel or doing commercial plumbing for hotels. So the good news is you can view people's profiles, and you can view anonymously so that they don't know that you've looked at them, and you can get information and do some reconnaissance. This is work, but the work pays off. Be ruthless when deciding whether or not to add people to your network. It's like, there's no penalty per se, but you don't want to waste time. You don't want to just add people because it's the expedient thing to do. You want to say, does this person make sense? Yes or no? And if they don't make sense, then don't add them. And when you do add them, you need to ask. Don't just send a generic request. Tell them why. And when they do connect to you, when they accept your invitation, I always like to follow up with a thank you for connecting with me. I appreciate it. Uh, just so that it's more personal, because most people will just connect and then you never hear from them again. And so it's like, why were you connecting? So let's go to the next slide. So you start with people you may know, and that's something that LinkedIn will pop up when they're suggesting people for you to connect with, and they use their algorithm. It's not quite as good as the Facebook algorithm for people you may know, but it's pretty good. But what it is good at is that it looks at the industries of the people that you're in, and it looks at who you're connected to and what industries they're in, and so it does work. So there's a little button, see more, and it'll bring up a wall for you. But when you're doing this, when you're doing your search, you want to decide who it is that you're wanting to connect with. I do things like, when I do a search, I'll do general manager, hotel, or I'll do a hotel company. If it's I like to target small hotel management companies. I'm not going after Marriott or Hilton or DoubleTree. I'm going after Noble House or some smaller company that maybe has 20 hotels, 10 hotels, or an individual. Also, even though I'm in competition with people that do pay-per-click advertising, I do add them to me if they are an expert in pay-per-click, because I can learn from them, and it also helps me with my association. But I also will connect with people who are web designers or people who do search engine optimization. Even though I will dabble in that, if called on, I prefer to focus in on the pay-per-click. So again, it helps you because you can make these connections, and if you connect with somebody that doesn't do, if I connect with someone who doesn't do paid advertising, pay-per-click advertising, it helps, and they have a client, they can refer me, and so it's all about building referrals. Or I can say, oh, well, I don't handle SEO in the automotive industry, but my friend Jeff does. Let me put you in touch. It's about what we talked about earlier, about being of service and being of giving. You're not on LinkedIn to necessarily do a hard sell. It's definitely a soft sell. So let's go to the next one. So when you're doing the search for connections, there's a button at the bottom of the screen. If you go to the next screen, actually, Roy. So there's a button there that you'll see, and it says to connect. Well, you don't want to hit that blue connect button. You want to click on their person's name, Joe Schmo account, and when you do that, it's going to take you to their profile for further reading and for learning more about that person. Because you don't want to send a form letter. You want to add a line or two, even if it's just a line or 2 lines, to the front of the standard connection message, because you'll stand out. It'll just make you more memorable. If you've gotten that, you know what I'm talking about. So let's go to the next screen. So other ways to search for people are to alumni. If you went to university, I went to Ole Miss. Hotty toddy, shout out. And so I can search for people that went to Ole Miss and make connections that way. It doesn't have to be people who I went to Ole Miss with the years that I was there. It can be somebody who just recently graduated, all the way to people who graduated before I did, because there's a connection there from university. You can also look for companies that you work for, possibly, or if there's a company that you're looking to work for that you want to connect with, you can search their look for their top executives' profiles, past and present employees, so the different category lists. And when you get to experts and top executives, see what they're saying about themselves, and and that's one of the great things I love about the internet and LinkedIn and profiles is that if I get an idea, if I go to someone's profile and I say, oh, I really like the way that he formatted his profile, I can change it and I can make it look better. I can constantly be improving. It's constant improvement. It's something that you can't just set up once and forget it. It's not, we hear, we always see these things, set it and forget it income. Well, this isn't a set it and forget it income. This is a set it and constantly improve it and use it as the tool that it is. One of the things you want to do in your settings is you want to go in to your settings and set it up so that when you make a change that you don't alert everyone about your changes. Because if you're changing a profile, a word or two, or you're just revamping it, you don't want to send out a notification. It's almost like a software update. It's like, if it's a major update, you might want to alert everyone. For instance, when I decided to focus in on and set up my business local PPP solutions, and I set it up, I definitely wanted to alert everyone on my network that I had made the change. But when I add a video, I don't necessarily alert people that way. I use Twitter and other aspects. Go to the next slide. We talked about looking at what the experts put on there. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, that one. Mission statement, their philosophy. We talked about this. A statement about what's important to you. Why are you doing this? What is it that you love about your job? Little biography. Again, it's think of it as I'm single, so I'm dating, so I use online dating sites. This is kind of like, okay, it's the same type of thing. What is it that I love about what I do? What's my biography? What do I do and how do I do it? And what is it that I can help you achieve? Short summaries. We don't need to be putting out a 30-page white paper. 750 words is about 2,000 characters is the limit. So it's maybe 500 words, and that really helps you. But use the space. Use as much of the space as you possibly can. If you have 2,000 characters, you use 2,000 characters. Don't use 1,999. Use the full 2,000. It makes sense. It's there, and again, constantly be improving. Let's go to the next slide, talking about using advanced search to find leads. So you can see that you can put in search terms. There's a highlighted in yellow. Click on the advanced button, and that'll pop up the advanced people search. And you'll see current company. You can look in groups. You can look in just forums, just various ways that you can search. The keywords, if you're looking for a person in particular, you can put in their first or last name or title. I use this when I'm looking for general managers or directors of sales and marketing, which is a term used in the hotel business. So it's just I don't, here's the school if you were going to look for alumni. So you can see that there's just a wonderful granular way to search, and we've just got to continue to work. It's a process. I mean, I feel like I'm going pretty fast, and I know that I talk slow, so I apologize for that. But I'm also going pretty rapidly through this information. I just want to. I'm so excited about LinkedIn. It's like I can hardly contain myself sometimes. So here's step 3, and so go to the step 3 slide. Yeah. So again, I went over a lot of information, and if you hang on through the end, I'm going to give you a special report or a little resource guide that I have put together that will help you learn more about LinkedIn, and that it's just useful. So what do you want? How do you apply what you've learned? You want to update your profile. Yes, again, we want to get rid of mind-numbing, repetitive, and weak phrases. My pet peeve is I don't like the word that. When I read the word that, unless it's absolutely necessary, I take out the word that when I can. Start with an action statement. Say what you do. Avoid cliche phrases. It's just, or passive phrases. You want to be active. You want to excite people when they're reading what you're saying. You don't want it to be like the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Bueller. It's be active. Keywords are important. Use them in your description, tagline, and your summary first statement. On my page, I just have a keyword headline, and my favorite character is called the pipe, which is the straight up and down line. So I have lead generation, AdWords pipe, pay-per-click advertising pipe, Facebook advertising pipe. So it's like those are keywords, and people can search for these keywords and find you that way. And when you do that, it just starts to make sense. Avoid writing in the third person. Short, concise paragraphs. Write your summaries in the first person. Be creative. Use language to the best of your ability. Ask someone that you trust to read it and get their feedback, and be constantly improving. It's like write without editing, and then when you're done writing, then you edit, and then you write some more. Next, please. So it's not for telling your life story and your life history. What we're trying to do is, in the network marketing arena, I don't know if that's what most of the listeners are on, you're not trying to convince them to buy into your program right now. What you're trying to show is that you're a successful person and that you're someone that they want to connect with, that you're someone to connect with. When you add new connections, you can filter them by company, location, and other personalized tags. There's a notes on every connection that you can make on every connection in your network. And if you start in the beginning, if you only have a few connections to start with, and you start this process when you make connections to make notes, why you connected with them, what your follow-up date is going to be, when you're going to send them information. It's a mini little customer management system. And you can keep your summaries and specialties separate. So let's go to the next slide, please. So for me, I'm letting people know that landing clients is my main focus. I start with my profile summary and my experience, and then there's something in LinkedIn called groups, and you can join groups that have a specific focus to you or people that you can relate to. If you're in network marketing and it's like joining another network marketing group on LinkedIn may not make sense, but if you're a network marketer but you're a plumber, you may join, I don't know why I keep using the plumber job, but if you are one and you join a group of plumbers or home contractors, you can make connections there and answer questions, and then you can weave in. Well, I also do this on the side when you're connecting with people, because groups are just important. And when you join a group, you can introduce yourself, just briefly, why you join, what you do, and that's perfectly acceptable. But what you want to do is you want to listen first, and by listening, it's like read what's being posted. You want to answer questions. If you have an answer, you want to answer those questions. Give feedback when requested, but listen. Again, this is about giving and sharing information. And when you share the resources, and if you, let's say that someone asks a question and they're looking for a resource and it's not out there, well, that's an opportunity for you to create that resource and put strong calls to action on your landing pages. So let's go to the next one. Again, we're talked about, so one of the things that you want to do is when people get to your landing page is like you want to get better suggested keywords, add different media types. I was talking about this earlier. On your main page, when people see you, you can add portfolio images, videos, slideshows, anything. If you're promoting a business, you can have a picture or a video about that business, and you can say, "Ask me for more information." One of the first things I did when it became available was you can have a profile custom background for your profile, and on that I have the name of my business, I have my Twitter account, my phone number, my email address, and it's very clear that what my focus is. And I went to Fiverr and had it done for $5, and it's great. And I actually use the same header on LinkedIn as on my Facebook business page, that's on my Twitter account, on my Google Plus account, and on my company website. So there's consistency across the board. Now, if you don't want to create a custom background, there are some backgrounds that are generic that they'll recommend and let you use. And I would recommend, even if that's all you do, is find one and put it up, because it will make your profile look different. Because believe it or not, people just don't do it. They just don't take that step. So let's go to the next slide, please. Talking about ask to be recommended. Ask for the recommendation. It's like closing the sale. You have to close the sale. You got to ask for the sale. You have to ask for the recommendation. People don't know to recommend that. Now, on the flip side of that is, I like to recommend people that I know, so I'm more proactive on that side. Go to the next slide, please. So you want to share your profile. Again, I talked about putting the badge on your website. Add to relevant Facebook pages. Share when you update with relevant content, and share profile via .pdf. So you can actually take there's a button where you can create a PDF from your profile, and it works fairly good. It's better for resumes, I think, but and I didn't get into this. A lot of people put like all of their jobs and think it has to be in chronological order, but it doesn't need to. You can set it in whatever order you want. You also don't need to necessarily use it as job descriptions. You can talk about other things. It's just, I can't believe how fast time flies. But let's go to the next slide. Again, it's checking your network updates daily. You want to visit your homepage daily and see what's going on. You can see who's viewed your profile over the past 90 days. Now, sometimes you can see the actual person, and sometimes it'll just say a director of sales in Gig Harbor checked your profile of the greater Seattle area, and sometimes it'll just be anonymous, but it'll just say. So you want to check the people you may know, because you could look for more connections. They do have ads. It is free, so they do support themselves with ads, but they're not, again, it's not nearly as pervasive as the ads on the FB. Posts and updates that may be useful, you can see those, and then there's something called LinkedIn Pulse, where you find top industry influencers. Now that's something new, but the secret is, or a big secret is, anyone can post an article on LinkedIn that will get shared and with everyone in your network. And what you can do is you can post on Facebook, on keep saying Facebook, on LinkedIn. And then if you can join up to 50 groups. If you belong to 50 groups, you can share that article in all 50 groups, which then expands an incredibly viral way to get your message out there. And you can, just like using article marketing, you can include a resource box at the bottom of your posting, and it's possible to get thousands of views. I am just learning about this. I've just started about 3 months ago, and I post 2 to 3 articles a month, and I love it because I'm building my profile on LinkedIn, I'm building authority, I am getting likes, I'm getting comments, and it's just, again, it's like, it's so gratifying to do that. So let's go to the next one. So LinkedIn does have a paid version. I do everything for free. I don't use their paid version. If you do decide for the paid version, you get a 30-day trial, and you may want to do it if it suits your needs. Right now, it doesn't. It's not something I want to do. I may in the future. It does offer information that's not easily accessible in the free version, but right now that hasn't been hurting me at all. Examples of the paid plans are, go to the next slide. Yeah, so unlocking sales opportunities, that's like $90 a month. Finding contact the right people is like $60 a month. And you can use a feature called InMail. So if you do decide to go the paid route, you want to take advantage of what you're paying for other than just getting data. The primary opportunity that I think is the ability to use their LinkedIn Mail, where you can mail directly. And that would be the only reason why I would do that. And it's almost like a solo ad opportunity, if you're familiar with that term in the internet marketing world. It's like this. It's like a solo ad within LinkedIn, and also the enhanced who has viewed you profile. You can definitely see lots about what's going on. So we're coming up on the hour. We're coming to the conclusion. So Roy, if you want to, yeah. So share your LinkedIn post on Twitter. I have it set up so that when I post on LinkedIn, it automatically goes onto my Twitter feed. I also have it set up so that when I post a Twitter feed, if I post something on Twitter, that it gets shared on my LinkedIn wall. I also do that for my blog post when I post a new blog post. And that's something else that I do. I co-share information. I'll post on my blog, and it gets shared on LinkedIn, but then I will sometimes take the best of the blog posts that I've made and share that in full as a posting on LinkedIn. So it's this cross-utilization of the work. Make your profile public so others can find you. Use relevant keywords and titles and descriptions. It's just like SEO for a website. It's the same thing. So we know how important that is. You want to join LinkedIn groups that's centered around your interests and targeted groups. Another LinkedIn for journalists, mobile. Check groups regularly. I can't say this often enough. Keep your profile updated and fresh. So let's go to the next slide, Roy. Yeah, keep your profile updated and fresh. Respond to requests quickly. So when someone reaches out to you, don't hesitate. Respond immediately. They're reaching out. That's why you're there. That's a success. That's a win. That's a major win. All right. So the next couple of slides are going to be about some special offers that I put together for you guys, because I just believe in this LinkedIn marketing. So I don't know if there's any questions that have come through. I can't see that.
I can't either. All I can see is your presentation.
Yeah. So so I'm sorry. All right. So I've got some. I I got a question. How long should your profile be? I'm not sure when that came in, Chuck, but I think 2,000 words. And then for me with jobs, I only go back 10 years. I don't go all the way back to the beginning unless it's relevant to, if there was a job you had in your early career that's relevant to what you're doing today, you might include it. I include hotel-related work that I've done that is over 10 years old, just to let people know that. I hope that answered the question. But so the special offer that I've got, something called LinkedIn Marketing Made Easy. It's a 50-page PDF that you can just go through this in your own time. I've got a cheat sheet that's kind of like helps you go through getting into LinkedIn as a mind map on what to do, and then dominating the top 5 LinkedIn tools available. Now I sell this on my website right now for $49.95. But what I've done is I've got a special $19.95 offer. There's the sell, and the URL. If you go to that URL, it'll show you all 3 offers. So the apprentice package is like just an introductory offer. Then there's the professional package, which is everything in the apprentice package, plus put together 3 profile templates that basically, if you're an author or a speaker, or if you're a small business owner, or if you're an online marketer, so it's kind of like it kind of gives you a template on what to follow, and it's really helpful for to give you it's kind of like a starting point if you're just completely lost, and I find templates extremely helpful. Even if I don't end up using it, it just gives me ideas. Then a workbook on how to leverage the power of LinkedIn for fast results, which basically is a lot of the information from this presentation, and a checklist on on a lot of the things I talked about. And so it's $10 more, but it's basically twice as much information, in my opinion. And I just think LinkedIn is the greatest opportunity for us as marketers going. And then the final offer that I have is what I call the executive package, and that is everything in the apprentice and the professional package, plus 2, and I say half-hour Skype consultations with me. I think they'll probably be more like two 1-hour consultations, but at least a half an hour where we'll talk, and one of them will be critiquing your profile, your LinkedIn page, and then developing a strategy and helping you implement that strategy for your LinkedIn profile, because it's so important to have a second set of eyes, look at what you're doing. It just, in my opinion, it's invaluable. And normally, I would be, if someone came to me off the streets, I would definitely be charging them, $300 to $400 for this, because it is labor intensive. But I appreciate you guys listening to me and letting me, I hope you could hear how excited I am about this. And so if there are any questions, I'll answer any questions. We're a little, I don't need to go anywhere. And also, if you type in your email address, I'll send you, I have a resource box, a report that I'd like to send you. So I'm going to turn it over to Roy.
Okay. Hey, John. Thank you so much. Yeah. So if you want your free gift, your quick start guide, which is I think it normally would sell for what he's selling his smallest package. I think it usually sells for like $20. We're giving that away free. Just type in your email, and it's digital, and so we'll send that right out to you, or John will. And I just want to appreciate John showing up, and everybody who's here, and everybody who watches this after the fact. I'm very happy that you're with us. Let's see, is there any? I just want to see any more chats. Anything else? Yeah, let's see. Anything else coming up? I want to be able to answer any questions you have. Anything that you'd like to see in the future. We try to give a lot of value, and even in the things that I beat John about and said, we're not charging full price for your products. You can come on, but you've got to give a deal that's unbelievable. So I think we got some emails come in, and so if you'd like to if you'd just like to show up here every Thursday, we'd appreciate having you, and share this with your friends, and let us know that you're sharing with your friends, and we'll get you some special gifts. We have a lot of things we could give away, and because we want to build this up, we want people to have a place they can actually come to and feel safe, and not feel like they're just going to be beat on to be sold. You notice all we did was just kind of here it is. Here's a couple of things that are available. If you'd like them, that's fine. But the main impetus that we're trying to go for, and we're not even going to. There'll be weeks that we don't even have anything to sell at all. So it's just going to be constant training every Thursday night. Just keep showing up, and believe me, if you'll find something that really appeals to you, and you're going to, maybe you can just run with it, make a fortune. So I wanted to keep these pretty close to an hour, and it's already 8 minutes after the hour. So unless there's some more questions coming in, I just want to thank John again, and thank all of you for showing up. And you can go to rharrisblog.com. You can find me on Facebook. Just type in Roy Harris. I do show up pretty easily. I don't do anything to do that, so I must be doing something right. So just type in Roy Harris on Facebook. You'll find me, and give us some suggestions and give us any questions that you have. But that's what we're here for. Okay, thank you so much, and we're going to call it a good night. Good night, John.
Thanks, Roy. Good night.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.